Welcome to the Pro Formula Podcast. I'm your host, Tarek Shabazz, and this is season 2 of the Pro Formula. And for you all that are just joining us, this podcast is all about helping professionals get those tips and tricks to take your professional career to the next level. Today, I'm sitting here with a dear friend of mine and one of our co-hosts, Mr. Matt Johnson. You're going to want to check in with this one. See you on the other side. Matt, what's up, man? What's going on? It's been a long time coming, man.
I know, man. Can't believe it took too long.
Yeah, man. I can't believe we didn't get you on season 1, but I appreciate you making some time for us on season 2. What you been up to, man?
Man, bro, just kind of traveling, chilling, working, growing a business, raising kids. Got a lot.
Yeah, I know that's right. For you all that don't know, I'm bringing Matt on to the show today because Matt had the 6-figure corporate American lifestyle and gave that away. And I want to talk to him a little bit about why he did that, what he's up to these days, because there's some of you that are really, you want to leave your job, but you don't know how to, or you don't know the practical steps. And so, Matt, would you be okay with us talking a little bit about that today and talking about what people can do if they're thinking about leaving their corporate American jobs?
Love it, man.
Before we get started, I want to just kind of get your idea on, we're all kind of gelled and developed in this idea of, I got to go get a good job. I got to get good benefits. I got to be able to have a good income. Where's your mind at these days on corporate America and people working these normal 9-to-5s? Like, what is your thoughts on that?
So, like, you talking about like the American dream?
Yeah, the American dream.
Yeah, I think it's dying. I don't think it's really the way to go. I don't think a lot of people are for it. I think you got to have different streams of income. We got to teach our kids about how to make some passive income, how to build a business, how to get some investments, put your money to work for you. This whole go get a job as your main thing, I'm not for it.
Yeah. Where did that change? Because as we'll talk about a little bit today, you started off kind of, blazing the trail. I remember looking up to you. Like, we would talk about our salaries. We talk about the bonuses that we were making. I remember you got ownership stakes within the organization. Like, what were some of the things that changed for you? Because for a long time, I would say you were on that corporate America track and you were going full speed ahead.
Yeah, man. Well, I think that really where I started at was not corporate America, and I kind of tripped into corporate America. They say salary's a drug they give you to kill your dreams and goals, and I think that's what they did to me. Okay. With corporate America. I think I went there and I was content and happy and guaranteed income and stable income and all the things that, the schools and the media feed us. That's what I think I bought into that. And then
now, are you taking a shot at people that are going to work on a day-to-day?
Absolutely.
Because I'm feeling like there are some people that are making a career of it. They love the work that they're doing. They're getting great fulfillment for it. They're getting fairly compensated.
No, man. There's 4 ways you can make money. You can either be an employee and work for somebody. You can be self-employed and open up your own thing. You can create a business and have other people work for you, or you can be an investor and let your money work for you. And you don't have to choose one or two. You can do all 4. Okay. You can have a job. You can have your own little business. You can run a company and you can be an investor, or you can be an employee and an investor, or just a business owner. And you almost always want to be an investor, but not very many people are.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that most people go the W-2 traditional employment route? What is it that attracts us to that type of a work model?
Did you love going to school every day?
No, but I liked it. I enjoyed learning. I thought it was cool going to school. I thought I thought socially I got a lot out of going to school. I think that the process of it, seeing things to completion. So I like that. So
would you say you went to school because you loved it and wanted to go, or you had to go?
Yeah, I think obviously in the United States, it's a requirement. It's legal. You have to go to school. So I think that most kids, if they had it their way, they would not go to school.
I wouldn't have went to school, man. I went to school because that's what I was supposed to do. So then I went to college because that's what I was supposed to do. And then I got to corporate America because that's what I was supposed to do. And I was never told a different way. That's what I think the biggest thing is most people don't really know any other way. That's just their parents did it, their parents did it, and now I think the new generation now, the 20 to 25 year olds are kind of not
following that traditional
Yeah,
model.
they're like, I want to be a YouTuber or a side gig or a hustle there's a lot of different ways to make money now. So you don't have to go work every single day. I mean, you do, but not a job.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the biggest things that I think people that are entrepreneurs or people that aspire for entrepreneurs or people that see that entrepreneurial lifestyle, they think, oh, this must be great. This person doesn't have to go to work and they've got it like that. That's not the case though, is it?
No, not at all. You got to live by a calendar. If you're going to be an entrepreneur and not go to a 9 to 5, see, most people don't have any schedule except for when they have to go to work.
Okay.
So that's why it's hard for a lot of people to build an actual business because they don't create a schedule for themselves. They're just doing this thing and they don't. But if you take it seriously and you put your stuff on a calendar and you operate off of a calendar, I think it's very doable. But that's because you value your boss values your time. What time, when you got to go to work, you got to be there from 7 till 5, whatever, get to work, home from work. And that's the time that you have to go. But if you work for yourself, how many people work for themselves and actually work from 7 to 5?
And we'll get into this a little bit, but I wonder, is the average person disciplined enough or can they be disciplined enough to kind of have that type of schedule where they can do it on their own? Or do they need someone that kind of gives them that structure so that they can use their time productively? What is your opinion on that? I know you're not necessarily...
I think it depends on the person, really. You got to... Most people, I don't think, can handle it. Most people, I think their best bet is to go work a job, get the most they can out of the job, eventually learn all the different aspects of it, and then open up a business doing whatever used to be your job. That's probably the easiest route.
Okay. So what has been, we've been friends, I would say, over the last 30 years. It's crazy to kind of believe that. And I just want to walk the viewers through a little bit. When I was growing up, Matt was the guy in our neighborhood who was getting money. And so I thought that was so cool as a young kid. He's got his old school car, he's got a car with the music in there. And he was somebody that was accessible to me. I could talk to him. I can go touch him and see him. And he was always about finding a way to make a dollar. And then as our relationship has progressed into fatherhood and to being husbands, and I think that our relationship has taken on so many different aspects. And I know that as businesses have started or I've got business ideas, you're typically one of the first people that I call to or reach out to about it. What do you think is helped our relationship over the last 30 years? And when you look back and say, man, me and this dude have been rocking that long, what are your thoughts on the progression of our relationship?
In all honesty, man, my favorite part about our relationship is that throughout life, anytime I want to do something, you're always supporting me. Yeah. And I think I do the same thing. And it's not, a lot of people say they support you in something, but it kind of maybe has a little bit of hatred or jealousy or something in it. But like, I remember the days you're talking about with salaries, like I'm making 50 grand. I got to get there. And you weren't jealous of me for making a good amount of money. You wanted to figure out how to do it. And then as you made money, I wanted you to make more money. And then it's, 70, 80, 100, 10, 20. And so I think that's my favorite thing is that you have a genuine desire to see me do well and the feeling's mutual.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think one of the things that you can take away from that is the people that you choose to spend your time with is so valuable and it's so important. Are you with people that want to see you win?
Except today on the golf course.
We were out on the golf course today. We were getting it in on the golf course today. He told me when I first started playing golf, which was just a few years ago, and he's been playing golf much longer than that. He told me, I'd never beat him.
It'll be a while.
Do you still believe that? I'll never beat you?
Maybe someday, but not soon.
Okay, but you
yeah, not never anymore. It's okay. Not, we won't talk about the other conversation, but.
I like how you said.
Maybe someday.
Not never, y'all. For y'all
you got a chance. Like.
for y'all that don't
like
know
a 16 seed beating a 1 seed.
We literally compete at everything. It doesn't matter. We usually are spending time playing dominoes and hanging out and doing all of those types of things. So it was fun to spend some time with you on the golf course. Sure. And I want to see you win. I just don't want you to beat me on the golf course. I hope that's fair.
That's fair.
But as we get there, man, I think, the progression that we've had in our relationship has been great because we've seen each other through these different places. And the reason that I think this podcast is going to be so important is because there are people who are working a 9 to 5. They don't want to work a 9 to 5, but they don't know how to get out of there. Right. And so I'm always trying to listen to what my people want and what our audience is looking for. And I was thinking, there's really nobody that's better than you that can provide us that. In addition, Matt is also somebody who is a part of the organization. Talk to us a little bit about what the Pro Formula means to you, what you do with the Pro Formula, and where you want to see this thing go.
Like Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, and in there he studied successful people. So to me, this is like our podcast version of that.
Yeah.
Where we're just going to go get successful people on, see what they're doing, ask them questions, find out, and maybe somebody can gather something about if they want to go that route, right? Yeah. And I want it to be all different things. That way it appeals to a large audience, because I think a lot of people are hungry.
Yeah, man. I think we're in a place right now where we need more mentors and we need real coaching. And I think if you all were just looking at me and saying, but Tark, do you really have what I'm looking for? Or are you in the industry that I'm in? Maybe I am and maybe I'm not, but I know that I got a network of people that I'm trying to expose you all to be able to give you some of that insight and give you some wisdom so that you can take your professional skills and take your career to the next level. So I appreciate you having my back and supporting. Talk to us a little bit about what you do with the Pro Formula. What roles do you play?
Kind of a lot, man. We don't got a big team, so business development and ops. My job really is to get people on the show and to get money coming in the door so that we can make more shows.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
There we go. All right. My first question as we get into kind of who you are, at the height of your career, you're making over a six-figure salary.
Yeah.
You got ownership stake in the organization that you're working with, and you are on this corporate American track. We're going to get into what you used to do, but what made you leave that kind of a gig? Because for many of our viewers and people that are watching, they're trying to get to $100,000 or trying to get to $150,000. You were there and then you walked away from it. Talk to me. How did you do that? Why did you do that?
I mean, COVID had a role in it really because everything closed. So it was hard to go work for somebody else. So I kind of got laid off. I could have got another position. I just hated that industry, man. I hated feeling owned by the people. I didn't feel good about what I was doing. I feel like I have a purpose, and I don't think I was fulfilling it. People, everybody was proud of me, and you mean you're not going to do that? You got a great job. How could you leave that? But I just didn't feel fulfilled at all.
Yeah. What was it like when people are telling you, dude, you're crazy. You're walking away from this job. You don't have another job lined up. Like, how did that feel? How was that process? Because some of our audience, they are always thinking about what somebody else is thinking about them. What's some advice that you have for them?
One time when I was working, I lost my job. I lost a job. I got let go of a position, and I was really scared. That was the most scared I ever been in work life. And my kids were still young, and I remember I was afraid to go home. I got fired. It was on my birthday. And I got fired. You
got fired on your birthday?
On my birthday, from a place that I'd known these guys for 10 years. And I'm not going to tell you this story about it, but it really, in my opinion, the reason why is that I had some really good months and they owed a lot of money in commission and the company was hemorrhaging money. So I don't think they wanted to pay me. But anyways, I had to pack my stuff this day. Like, I've been working at this place for probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I had to pack all my stuff. I put it in I had to take it on the metro. I had to borrow the guy's cart to put my boxes of stuff on the metro to get it home, because I would ride buses and trains to get downtown, And I finally got to my car and I was afraid to go home. And
what was the fear? What were you afraid to go? Why were you afraid to go home?
I just didn't want to let my kids know that I don't know. I was afraid to tell anybody what had happened.
Yeah.
So instead, what I did, I think this is the key, is I just started calling everybody I knew that was higher up than me. Everybody asking, hey, do you got a job? You know anywhere I can go? You know anything I can do? And I got a raise. I got a job offer and a raise that day.
The same day?
The same day I got fired. So I got fired, was scared to go home, got a job offer and a raise. And then I called my dad and did a little joke on him. Shout out to my pops.
What's up, Mr. Ed? How you doing, sir?
I told him, Dad, I got fired. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he was real scared. And I was like, but I got a new job and I got a raise. And so then, so that idea, when the corporate America thing got hard at COVID, it wasn't like my first time that I was scared. I knew, look, I got fired and hired and a raise that day. I could do this. I could do anything.
As you say that, it kind of takes me back to your start in corporate America. For many of you all that don't know, Matt went to school out in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach and graduated and was going to be an educator, and actually have been working, going through orientation, was being hired as a school teacher in the Baltimore area. And as he was going through orientation, they found out something on his background that prohibited him from getting that job. And so that day, I remember him going out and saying, I'm going to start doing this office supply sales, and I'm starting to go door to door. And he started literally knocking doors. I feel like it was the same day. Next day.
It was like 2 days later. It actually goes back. So there's one thing that's really important. When I was in high school, I got kicked out of high school, and then I went to this thing called Anasazi.
Okay.
And that was in the mountains in Arizona. It was an 8-week long program, and it was in October and November. So it's cold in the nighttime there and hot in the daytime.
Okay.
And they gave us a map. And here was your spot on the map, and here's where you had to get. And they took everything from us. They all we had was like some drawers and socks and sweatpants and t-shirts and a bunch of dried food. We had rice, noodles, powdered sugar, powdered butter, powdered milk, raisins, dried tomato. It was like 18 bags of food that we got. And they gave us a map, and they taught us how to make a fire with sticks. And they told us by next, whatever day it was, Tuesday, you got to be here to get new clothes and new food. And the first day I just sat down. Like, this is crazy. You guys are nuts. I'm not doing this. And so I just sat there and like, I guess I'll just die out here in the woods. And I remember this kid, Sean, that was 7 of us, the same 7 of us for all 8 weeks. It was 1 week, but it was an 8-week long program. And this kid, Sean, I remember he doing spinning the piece of wood on the stick and the rock, and he made a coal. A coal came out. And at that, I was like, oh man, I guess maybe this can work. You know what I mean? Like, so I always think at everything I do, it all boils down to that. I was going to quit.
What did you get from that helped you develop the mindset that said, I can overcome, I got to be a survivor, I got to be a hustler? Like, what was it about that experience that helped you to get where you are, or help you along your journey?
Most of all, it taught me I could do anything. We had to literally learn to find water when we stopped at night, and we had to put chlorine in the water to be able to drink it. And I literally could do anything. And because it was so untraditional of what most people go. And then when I got back, I went to a teach yourself school. It was like, go to school and finish this book. And if you finish this book, you can get a credit. And I didn't even know what I was doing. It was like one of my spots. It was like a safe place till I got another call, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I would go to school and get a credit. And then I would go make some money, and the school was open 9 to 9. I can go to school anytime, 9 to 9. And it was in the hood on Montview and Moline, bro. That's a good spot to be safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so then I got back to Aurora Central, where we
Shout
graduated
out to the Trojans,
in North Aurora. And do you remember the day in school when it's your junior year and you go meet with the counselors and you talk about what do you need to do to be able to graduate?
Yep.
Do you know what I'm talking about? So
Absolutely.
all the homies, their meeting was, you're gonna have to go to summer school both years. You probably gonna have to go a 5th year. Yeah. That's how everybody's meeting was. And my meeting was like, well, man, you can probably graduate early pretty easily. And so I did. I graduated high school early, and I only went to high school for my freshman year and half of my junior year and half of my senior year. But I got school credit at the Anasazi, and I got school credit at the Teach Yourself school. So my problem with following the rules is I didn't, and I did just fine.
So you kind of identified that you were a little bit rogue when it did it your own way at a young age. Does somebody have to have that type of personality in order to leave a corporate American job? Or could somebody be just super organized and have a plan and decide that they're going to leave? Or do you think that they've got to have a little bit of that survivalist, I can do anything, I can accomplish anything kind of an attitude?
At the end of the day, bro, if the why is strong enough, you'll figure out the how. If you want to do something, you can do it. And I believe that with anybody and anything. If somebody wants to do something, they can do it. Yeah, yes, I think it helps to have a do-it-yourself kind of, maybe a different kind of way, because it's people. Another reason people fail at stuff is fear of what other people think.
Yeah.
And so everybody's saying, don't do this, you can't do this, don't do that. That could scare most people away. Most people aren't willing to say, no, I'm going to do this, and then put the time and effort in to make it. It's not easy. It wasn't easy.
But you've got an uncanny kind of self-confidence.
Yeah.
And hearing about the story about, you having to go to the Anastasia, that seems interesting. I mean, and that could be a whole other podcast on its own. But did you have that kind of self-confidence and that self-belief? And if so, prior to that, and if so, where does that come from? And is that something that somebody can develop and grow? Self-confidence.
Self-confidence, absolutely, man. For sure, self-confidence. Self-confidence comes from, you have to work at something to get better. I don't think it just starts that way. Look, a lot of books that I read have to do with how the brain works. And most people tell themselves negative things. They can't, they won't, they shouldn't. It's hard to. They diagnose themselves with different things. And a lot of these books just say, tell yourself, speak into existence what you want to accomplish every morning. And then most successful people, 5 years from now, they're doing what they said they were going to do 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I believe that all of it can be spoken into existence, essentially, but you have to believe it.
We're going to come back and we're going to talk about how do you make things happen with your mind. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. I want to give us a big thanks to our sponsors. Thank you for helping us with our show. Without you, we would not be able to do this. So you all just stick around, watch this ad real quick. We'll be right back and we'll talk to you on the other side. Peace.
This is Jamal with Print King 303. Check out my boy Tarek's podcast, Pro Formula, at 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. If you want to get some of that business knowledge, check him out.
All right. Welcome back to the Pro Formula Podcast. I'm your host, Tarek Shabazz. I'm sitting here with a special guest, Mr. Matt Johnson. Matt worked in corporate America, earned up to like $150,000 salary. I might be wrong by a couple $1,000s on the other side. But decided one day during COVID, I'm going to leave this corporate American lifestyle and I'm going to get into my own thing, and has not worked in corporate America over the last three years or so. Is it about 3 years?
4 now.
Last 4 years has not worked in corporate America. And so I think it's really important that we have this type of representation. But right before we left, we were getting ready to get into a powerful topic that I want everybody to really tune into. We're always talking about the power of manifestation, and I can think something and turn it into something. What does that really mean to you? Is it just that simple, and is it that easy, or is there some intentional work and some action that you got to take behind having those thoughts? What do you think?
You got to just tell yourself things over and over, and you can believe them. The Bible says in James, be thankful for trials of many kinds. And that's so when you have a problem, first off, you got to learn to be thankful for it.
Yeah.
And it says it creates perseverance, and perseverance makes you full and complete, not lacking anything. So those problems help you to grow. And it says you can ask God for wisdom and he'll give it to you generously without finding fault. But if you ask and you don't believe, like if you doubt it, then don't ask at all.
Yeah.
So I think that we have to create positive things in our head and believe what we're asking for, or we're just asking for nothing.
Yo, that's something I want to just stop with. You have the ability to have anything that you want, but it's just a matter of, do you actually believe that you can get it? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that you have the talent to get there? Do you believe that fortune is on your side? Do you believe that this is within your realm of possibilities? And I know, and I've been knowing you for a long time, you've always kind of had that mentality. Talk to us about when you remember that mentality being developed, and what are some things that took place that got you into having that kind of a mentality and thinking that way?
Two things. One thing with what you were just saying, there's another book called The Aladdin Factor.
Yeah, man.
And it says the world is your genie. You can have anything you want. You just have to learn to ask for it, and you got to accept that the answer may be no more than one time. But it's not that the answer is no, it's that you need to learn to ask for what you want better.
So you got to know because you didn't ask it the right way.
Exactly. And if you can ask better, like you sometimes talk about, before you could go play with your friends, you had to do your chores and have your homework done and have the room clean, and then mama lets you go play.
Yeah.
So Mom, it's not, can I go play? It's, I did my chores. I cleaned my room. I washed the dishes. Can I go play?
So you're overcoming objections before
anything.
Before they can. So one of the things that you all have to learn to get what you want, you got to overcome the objections. Objections are just a part of it. That's part of it, as he was just saying in the King James.
Be thankful for them. Think about the hardest times in your life. That's when you grew the most.
Yeah, man.
For me.
Absolutely, no question.
Those are the best. But when you're going through it, it's terrible, bro. It's the worst.
I was getting ready to say it ain't the best while you're going through it, but it turns into the best.
But it says be thankful for trials. Everybody wants this rainbows and unicorn and good, great, happy feelings, and that ain't how it works.
Yeah. Okay. So
back to my childhood.
Yeah, or not necessarily childhood, but when
how
did you
I started it. So I remember being, I think this is either kindergarten or first grade. And we had these things called chance cards where you put them in the bucket at the end of the week and win a pencil or an eraser, whatever, you get to pick some stickers. And we had just learned how to make a Chinese star with construction paper. Do you know how to do that?
I used to when I was a kid.
You should learn again. So we would make these Chinese stars with different color construction paper and sell them in school for 3-4 chance cards. Wow. And then we get to win every gift because we got 100 chance cards, right? So I did that. And that was, and I'm telling you, it was first or second grade, kindergarten. It might have been kindergarten, might have been first grade, somewhere.
So you knew that there's a market for these.
For anything.
And I'm going to be able to utilize what I understand in terms of how I can market this. And I'm actually going to be able to turn these over into chance cards that's going to give me what I want.
I stole bubble gum and sold it for money to be able to do different kind of hustles. You gotta, some of my other jobs was working at a batting cage and I wanted to get better at baseball. So I figured out a way to go do something I can get paid and get better at this.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a lot of it is,
that's pretty clever.
I learned how to bat left-handed at the batting cages. And, I did telemarketing to make some money, and then I found another way to make money that wasn't a normal job. I did good.
That's
at
code,
that
y'all. That's a code for those that understand. He did some other things that was making him some money that he could not necessarily claim on his taxes.
But I did telemarketing, so my parents, that's how I was making my money.
Yeah.
So I think it's your mindset. You got to want it. A lot of people don't want it. A lot of people just want someone else to give it to them. And for that kind of person, no, they can't. They're not going to be able to make it.
I think what I hear when you talk is you're creative, you're resourceful, and you have that kind of ability to attract those types of things to you. I'm wondering, as you were leaving corporate America, in your mind, did you just know, I'm going to be able to find a way to make it?
Well, that's how my life's always been. I've never really been shut down on something. Like I'm not saying I'm never the best at anything, but I'm not the last one picked.
Yeah.
So I know I can find a way out of it. I can. When I was in the boot camp and we sat there and they made the coal, I was like, okay, I guess we'll do it. I'm on the team.
What was the most that you made in a year as a W-2 employee?
165.
165,000.
But I made between like 140 and 165 for almost my whole career. That was just a constant between there. So
COVID came, you got laid off from the job.
I did.
What happened next? How the heck did you just say, I'm not going to go?
I made 2 relationships with other companies that wanted to hire me, but I didn't really want to work full time there. So I developed some commission type deals with them so I could still get clients in that industry. So I didn't have to go to work every day, but I could still make some money in that industry. I got an insurance license and started making some money selling insurance. I drove Uber and Lyft. So it was a network marketing company, right? And I wanted to learn how to talk to people because I knew how to talk to people, but I didn't know what to say. And I believe that scripts are what you need to learn. So I would drive Uber. And if you got in my car, I was going to try to talk to you, not necessarily because I wanted to recruit you or sell something to you.
Just to get some practice.
Because I knew that when I wanted to talk to a doctor, I needed to practice talking to these 50 Uber riders first.
What was your rating as an Uber driver?
A plus.
He was a five star.
Bro, everybody likes me, man. No, some people didn't. But check this out. Listen to how much a hustle this is. If you're the kind of person to put your headphones in and you don't want to talk to me, I'm just going to turn the script on the radio. And then you're going to just listen to my mentor talk to you about the same thing I was going to talk to you about. And sometimes they would be like, man, what is this? What are you listening to? Like, oh, is it interesting?
And now the conversation
right
gets
after you
started.
just put your headphones in because you didn't want to listen to me. You listening to him on the headphones. Whatever, man. You got to think about this stuff. You got to, I don't care if you tell me no. It don't mean no to me. It means not yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Not at this time.
Yeah, I'm not ready yet. I need more information. I'm a little bit concerned. Well, what are you concerned about? So I had two companies that I had some deals with. I got an insurance license. I drove Uber and Lyft. I got a roommate. I had somebody move into my basement. I got a really nice basement that's like an apartment, basically.
Check that out real quick. So if you're thinking about leaving corporate America, a couple of ways that you can earn some money that just immediately he just dropped off to us was simple. One, he got a license. So that might be getting a barber license. That may be getting a cosmetology license. That may be getting a real estate license, getting an insurance license, some kind of license. Get some kind of a license so that you got a way to make some money. So that was step one. Step two, you got to get a little bit uncomfortable. He started jumping into Uber and jumped into Lyft. And he was using those Uber and Lyft drives as opportunities for him to get sharper and learn about his industry a little bit more and talk to people and having that confidence. And then the third thing that he did was he went and got roommates. So he has a house. Now you got kids living at the house. Mm-hmm. So you got roommates and you got your kids there.
But man, the way that COVID was is so many people needed help that it ain't like I'm just bringing a random person into my house.
I don't think that you're saying that. But what I just want people to say is you can have kids and you can have roommates.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you got to vet them. You got to make sure that these are quality people. You're not just invite anybody into your house. Yeah. But look, he got a license. He started driving Uber and Lyft. And then he also got some roommates to help out with that. What was like some of the scariest times that you've had? And I would say without a normal traditional job. I know that you got work that you're doing, but without that normal traditional job, talk to us about like the time where it was the scariest.
The scariest is when you have a bad month and you didn't have a good month the month before.
Okay.
So I had a good amount of money like saved and ready to go because I didn't really know how to invest for a long time. So I just had money in the bank. So I would try not to touch that as much as possible, but I always had a cushion to fall back on. Yeah. But when that cushion is out and then you have a bad month and another month and at the end of the day, man, you got to just go make some money. Like when you were talking about me teaching, I was supposed to get this job teaching and then I didn't have it. And so my choices were either go live with my in-laws and do construction or find something else. And I'm not a construction kind of guy, man. Yeah. So I got a job. It was 100% commission, going door to door, selling office supplies. Basically the interview was go with this lady all day long and her go knock on 100 doors and sell some office supplies. The goal was knock on 100 doors, talk to 10 people, make 3 sales. At the end of the day, they're like, you think you could do this? And I'm like, I think I could do better than you did today. Yeah. And they're like, okay, you're hired. You can try.
Y'all see, he's got a self-confidence. He thinks he's the smartest person in the room. He thinks he has the answer to that. He thinks he can do something better. We were just in my pool yesterday, and he's creating games in the pool as the game is going on because it's just part of his nature. What has changed or how has life changed now that you're no longer getting that W-2, that money's not guaranteed coming in on an every 2-week basis? What's changed, maybe what's been good about it and maybe what's been bad about it or some things that you've had to adjust to?
You got to be way better at budgeting. You got to make sure that you spend less than you make. A lot of people want to live this, I call it like a consumerism lifestyle that they got to go because your person at your job bought a new house you do, or you need to drive the same car they do. You got to minimize everything, man. I own my car, no car payment. And I would like a new car. It would be cool to drive up with a brand new car, but I got a nice Toyota Highlander. It's paid off. I don't own nothing on it. I gotta, you gotta just pay attention to your bills and you gotta make sure that you hold yourself accountable to make whatever. I need, a little over $4,000 a month. That's minimum. And I got to make sure I make that.
So are you finding yourself when it's time to go buy something that you're asking yourself, do I really need this?
I'm just not buying it.
You're just not buying it.
Yeah. I kind of became old man. I feel bad doing anything that's not financially responsible now. Like couldn't tell you. The last time I watched TV was today because it was on here. My TV don't work.
Yeah.
I have no cable. I don't watch Netflix. I read books. I talk to people about being a client or a business partner, and I build relationship with my kids and their friends, because those, quite frankly, are going to be business partners at some point.
Yeah. Now, when you talk about that, how has that impacted your kids? Because they're still growing up in this materialistic kind of a world.
Yeah.
Are you covering the base things that they need, or have they had to make some sacrifices as well since you've gone down this non-traditional path?
I'm just cheap, man. My dad, if you go to my garage at my house, my dad has these little cardboard boxes that he keeps like screws and nuts and bolts in. And they're so old that he just like wrapped duct tape around them to reinforce them so he didn't have to buy new cardboard boxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the other day, me and Noah went to the store. We're going to get a prom
Noah's
suit.
his son.
Yeah, we're going to get a prom suit. And we're at the gas station, and he wants this $4.50 little yogurt. And I'm like, bro, I ain't buying that, a $4.50 yogurt. So we drove across the street to the grocery store, got the big Greek yogurt with some strawberries and blueberries. And then we got 10 times more yogurt for $3 more. And like, that's just, I do those things, and I don't know if they understand or know it, but I realize now the reason I do it is because my dad was so cheap, and my dad has money.
I like the word frugal, y'all, not necessarily cheap.
Yeah, that's it.
Because if you look at the man's house, he's got a wonderful house. He's still got an old school. He's still so he's still living a cool life, but he is, I would say, a little bit more frugal, and I think a little bit more intentional about his thoughts, because when you have that paycheck that's coming in on an every 2-week basis, it allows you to sometimes be a little bit more outlandish with the way that you spend.
And well, you just know that you think it's coming for sure.
Yeah.
And I hate it when people say, I want to get a guaranteed check, because as guaranteed as it is, it's only guaranteed if you promise to go do what they tell you to do for those 2 weeks. You spend one day, go to the break room, sit in the break room, and the boss comes in and says, what are you doing? Say, I really just don't feel like working today. And you watch how guaranteed your check is.
So it ain't guaranteed. The guarantee that they think they have ain't really guaranteed.
If they're willing to go do whatever the boss tells them to do for whatever time. If the boss tells you come in early tomorrow, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
If the boss says stay in late, you gonna say, nah, I can't?
What does a daily schedule look like for you? Like, walk me through a day to day. What does that look like? Because I think that, again, people have the conception of, I'm a business owner or I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah. I get to do what I want. I don't have, like, what does a day-to-day, like, kind of deal look like for you?
My schedule is blocked out in every hour. And today I blocked out the whole day to hang out with you. So that's what my job is today. Tomorrow I got a 8 o'clock, a 9 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then I got a 4 o'clock. So every day is on my schedule. And I'm kind of changing my, I used to be I did 75 hard, and I was up every night at the gym till 1 or 2 or 2:30 in the morning trying to get this second workout in. And now I'm doing it again, but I've transitioned. And so now I'm getting up at like 6:30. So I'm trying to see if I can, I hate mornings. I don't want, they're not my favorite.
Yeah, you're more of a night person.
Exactly. But I like these mornings, how it's been. I'm on day 6 today, and I think this is going to end up, I want to transition. I think I'm more productive with the morning way.
Yeah.
So my schedule for a long time was basically 8 till 2 in the morning and schedule my day. And in my business, I can do an appointment. If you want to meet with me on Saturday, I'll meet with you on Saturday. If you need to meet on Sunday, I'm here to meet with people at times that work for them, which traditionally isn't the times that they're at work.
Okay. So you're still scheduling yourself, organizing yourself that way, and it's not like you have many days where you're just not being productive at all.
No, I don't ever have any days like that, but unless they're scheduled to be that way.
Yeah. Today was a scheduled off day for you.
Exactly. And I think it was still productive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm scheduling, and it doesn't have to be, I can do personal things at 2 in the afternoon from 2 till 4 if I need to get that done, because I might be working from 8 till 9.
Do you miss anything from like having that traditional job?
Just being around the people, because now I've been at home a lot of the time, and Zoom is cool, and it's a lot more
efficient, maybe?
Yeah, just easier. It's more simple. And so I miss being around the fire of a workplace of people trying hard, but I don't miss much of it.
Like when people are thinking about, I got to get health insurance and those things, how did you overcome that need? Because I mean, you still got kids. You
still got to get health insurance. It just don't go through your job. You're allowed to get health insurance.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody that sells insurance, and it's basically the same price as if you have a job. You just have your own personal policy. So
these kind of things you just overcame. You just overcame that, let it go, not really tripping.
I think I just don't like to focus on the issues of what's hard about something, and I like to be solution oriented.
Yeah.
I like to look at what's going to help us get to where we want to go, not what could potentially hold us back. I think that's a waste of energy.
I love that, man. I love what you're saying, and I think it's practical, kind of what you're talking about. I thought my wife, when I was putting this episode together, she was like, I want to know how he left and how he's not gone back, and I want to understand that. And I thought that would be something that you all would understand. We're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear from one of our sponsors. We're going to come right back. And then when we come back, we're going to be in our pro tip segment, which is a segment where we're going to be providing you with practical advice and things that you can do if you would like to take yourself out of this kind of a corporate mindset and adjust yourself into a self-employed or a business owner kind of a mindset. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
My last thing, 95% of the things you worry about never happen.
We'll talk about that when we come back.
Hi, I'm Larry Davis. Hence the LD in Drunkware by LD. You can find me on all my social media pages, all one word, Drunkware by LD. I also have a website, drunkwarebyld.com.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Pro Formula Podcast. I'm your host, Tariq Shabazz. I'm with a special guest, my man, Matt Johnson. And today we are talking about the courage that it took for him to leave corporate America. As you heard, he was making between $140,000 and $165,000 throughout his career, gave that up, and has really taken on the life as a business owner and as a self-employed person. And so I'm just really thrilled, man. Thank you so much for taking some time, man.
Thanks for
I think this has been awesome. This segment right here is called Pro Tips. Why I care so much about this is because some people are like, yeah, that worked for you, but what are some things that I should be doing? How can I actively do this? And so what I want us to do is I want us to be able to provide our listeners and our viewers and the audience with practical things that they can do if they want to also leave their jobs in corporate America. Is that cool?
I think it's important to know that this is one of the things that people said we should do from season 1 to season 2. So if there's anything else that could make this better, if there's something else that we're missing,
let us know, y'all. We want to get better. This is something that you all said you wanted.
Right.
So here we go with pro tips. The first thing that I want to know is, how do you schedule and plan your day or week? Like, what goes into that? I know that you pulled out your schedule, you're using it, but like, how do you go about scheduling yourself?
I make sure that my schedule's planned today.
Okay.
So before I go to sleep, I read one time, I don't even know, I heard or something, and it said, if you can, 1 minute planning today will save you 5 minutes tomorrow. So if you spend 30 minutes today, that's 5 hours tomorrow.
Oh, so 1 minute of planning saves you an hour the next day.
No, 1 minute saves you 5 minutes. So 1 times 30 is 30, and 5 times 30 is 300.
5 times 30 is actually 150.
Okay, then it's going to save you however much
2.5
time.
hours. That
Yeah,
would
there
be
you go.
2.5 hours.
My timing's wrong.
All right,
Saves you
I
a
helped
lot.
him out. You guys, y'all can see I'm still sharp up there with that math stuff.
It's going to save you. If you plan today and you know what you're going to do tomorrow, there's no figuring out what you're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
That you got to know before tomorrow what you're going to do. But you also got to be willing to, if something else comes up tomorrow that's more important than what's on your schedule, you got to adjust.
Yeah, man.
That part's important.
Prioritization is key.
Absolutely. Very huge.
Take care of the priorities. Make the whatever's priority, make that
You ever
work.
heard of eat that frog?
Yeah, man, eat it.
Eat it first.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Love it. Now, this question I'm going to ask, I want some of you all to know, some of you won't have the opportunity to choose to get out of corporate America the way that Frog did. Some of you are going to go into work and somebody's going to have a pink slip and they're going to say, thank you for your time. Here's your little severance, and we appreciate your time. Some of you may or may not even get the severance. So this question, I want to be sensitive to those people who may not get to choose when they leave, but I still want to be able to provide you with some information on, if I'm trying to get out of corporate America, how do I do it? How much money do you need to have saved or in a reserve in order for you to feel comfortable walking off your job?
3 to 6 months at least.
3 to 6
living
months
expenses
of your
Whatever
living
your
expenses.
living expenses are. 3 to 6 months.
Are we talking about going out to eat? Are we talking about
You should have a budget, and you should know what you spend on a monthly basis. And you should have if you spend $5,000 a month, you need $15,000 to $30,000 saved.
Okay. So y'all, if you want to get out of your normal job, you guys have got to have some intentional work. You got to put some of your money aside
In a liquid account,
Yeah.
not in your 401k.
That's right. You got to be able to touch that money. So putting it in
Yeah.
a CD, probably not a good idea. You want to be able to go to the bank, withdraw some cash if you need some cash, and you should have about 3 to 6 months.
And money markets are giving 5% right now.
Okay.
Not in a bank.
check
Take your
them out.
money out of the bank.
What is something that like somebody that's listening to this show right now can start investing in if they wanted to start getting themselves ahead?
Bro, I believe the best investment is in yourself. For
In
sure.
yourself?
100%.
Okay.
Get a certification, learn something, get a license, and invest an amount in yourself that you feel like is a lot. Like if whatever the most you've ever paid for a class, spend more than that.
Okay.
And in order to become comfortable, you have to intentionally put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You got to get comfortable getting uncomfortable. But I want to ask you the question. So, just to that point, spend more than you would normally spend. But how do we know what to spend it in when I'm investing in myself?
Well, it depends on what you're trying to achieve. Don't quit corporate America and go try to be an entrepreneur selling pine cones. Have a plan of what you're going to do.
And it's got to be a market for it, y'all.
Yeah.
There's got to be a market. Somebody's got to want the product that you are actually out there trying to get.
Need is better than want.
Yeah,
business is find a need and fill it.
Yeah, man.
So have something that, and preferably not something you hate either.
Yeah, something that brings you joy and that's fulfilling.
Absolutely.
And energizing you.
That's the best part about this, is that I feel like helping people how we do now is way better than me making good money working with law firms.
I love that. So invest in yourself. That could be a certification. That could be a license. That could be a class. That could be a group.
A language.
Yeah, it could be a language. But here's the key to that: do it and put some skin in the game. Mm-hmm. If $100 is what you can afford, put $100 in. But if $100 is what you really normally could afford, you might want to put $500 in.
Absolutely.
Put a little bit more into there so that you can get that out of it. What can you do to become a better budgeter?
Having budget, like know exactly what you spend, and then spend your money the exact same way every month.
Okay.
And most people get paid bi-weekly, right?
Yeah.
So that means you get paid 26 times. So that means there's 2 times a year that you'll get an extra check. So live off your 24 checks, have 2 extra checks, and either invest that into your retirement or to build your emergency fund.
Do you think
spend your money the same every month, and then it won't be weird. And spend cash too. You're 35% more likely to spend money when you're holding a card than cash. Take $100 and know that this is your money for the week to waste. And when it's gone, it's gone.
Love it. What is an activity that you should take daily to keep you succeeding and to help you grow and develop yourself professionally?
I would say, can I give you 2 exercises?
Yeah, for sure.
Things? Reading and exercise. I think you should take care of your body physically. I didn't do that for a long time, and I've been much more consistent on it lately, and I 100% see the effects. And reading. Library cards are free, man. Nobody has one. No, you can go learn anything. You can go
check out a book at the library. When's the last time you used your library card? You checked out a book on something that you wanted to have some information on, y'all. It's there. It's all in the book. If you don't, you got to open the book up. You got to read the pages. You got to take some notes when you're doing that. So,
and the brain is a muscle, so you can't just think you're going to read a book today. You got to start and read a page a day, and then 2 pages a day, and then 5, and then 10, and then, man, go read about how much how much does Steve Jobs read a day? Yeah. What does Warren Buffett read every day? These guys are reading a book a week.
Yeah. Nice. What advice do you have for somebody who's looking to leave corporate America?
Have a plan and have something that you want to really do as your main thing. Understand that you're probably going to have to find some secondary and third ways to make money. And expect it to be hard.
Yeah.
There's no, it's not going to be easy.
Y'all, it ain't easy. You can do it. These are some practical things that you can do. Go get yourself a roommate. Go get yourself a side hustle. Dial back on some of the things that you're spending frivolously on. You can do it if that's something that you really have the desire to do. That was a fire segment, man. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
I want to just ask you, man, what is your goal over the next 3 to 5 years? Can you ever see yourself going back and working a corporate American job?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe. I don't like to rule anything out. So if the right situation came, I could do it, but I don't think so. My goal in 3 to 5 years is to have a team of about 500-600 licensed agents on my team with 7 to 10 key leaders that all make 6 figures, and that should put me at financially independent.
Yeah. So you really want to build a passive income.
Absolutely.
What's the difference between a passive and an active income?
So financial independence occurs the moment your passive income exceeds your living expenses. You can either work for your money actively. It has active material. You have to do it. You got to go to work. You got to go sell the house. You got to go drive the Uber. You got to go. That's active income. And passive income means you don't work for it. So there's 2 main ways to make it. And it's either have a business where other people work for you and you make money off their money. J. Paul Getty said he'd rather make 1% off 100 men than 100% off himself.
Yeah.
So that's one way to do it, or to have your money work for you.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that, one easy way is get you some real estate and rent that real estate out. And as they're paying for that mortgage monthly, you got a couple dollars that's coming in from there. That's some passive income. Get some people that can work for you and they can help you sell the product that you actually are looking for and get that taken care of. So those are just a couple things that you got. I really appreciate that, man. Those are some really good tips, and best of luck. This is the final segment of our show, man. I'm sad that it's over.
me too.
It's not over, y'all, but it's like almost over, man. I hope that y'all enjoy getting to meet one of my best friends. Me and my best friend out here, Matt, is just incredible. We have these types of conversations all day, every day, and he's always like, bro, that should have been a podcast. That should have been a podcast. So we're actually doing one now. But this segment, it's called Settle the Score.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to help professionals uncover what it takes to get to that next level. Like the characteristics is what we're really looking at. We're trying to understand. So it's a this or that kind of a format.
I don't do well with that.
Can you please try to answer with one or the other?
I'll do my best.
Okay, y'all heard that, y'all. He said he's going to try to do his best. Let's not do the both. Yeah. Both works, but y'all, in this setting, we don't really need both.
So why you want that? But you ask the question where the both is a good answer. You pick all those questions and then say don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, both is a good answer because that's an easy answer. Okay. I'm looking for some practical tips that people can take, things that they can do, and understanding and identifying what are the habits of successful people. Is that cool?
Understood.
All right, here we go. First one. Would you rather be the mentor or the mentee?
I'd rather be the mentor. I thought I'd rather be the mentee, but I'd rather be the mentor because I love to see when the mentee does what the mentor was teaching, like how you made that putt today.
Oh, that putt was clean. That putt was on.
I made a putt and then you made a putt, and seeing you made the putt made me more happy than
if somebody had taught you how to make the putt.
That's right.
That's good. I think that's crazy. Being a mentor is awesome. You have an opportunity to build and develop that next generation and that next line of leaders or of whatever, entrepreneurs, investors, whatever that looks like. So in this
What's your answer for that? What would you rather be?
I think I go back and forth, but I think right at this stage of my life, I'd rather be the mentee. I think if I'm the smartest person in the room, I need to get in a new room.
Yeah.
So I really like the idea of learning and getting and building up my
That's
time.
what I thought my answer was till yesterday, and today I changed my mind. I would have said mentee yesterday before then, but I changed my mind today.
The golf course, I helped a brother change his mind.
Yeah.
And thank you for all your patience while I've been learning the game, man.
Thanks for learning how to play the game correctly.
I'm going to get you to a point. Which network do you value most? Is it your professional network or your personal network?
Let's see, that's both. But it's got to be my personal network, because if I really deal with you professionally, you become a part of my personal network. Yeah. So personal
network. Yeah, I like that. I think you said something earlier. You said my sons, my kids, and then their friends are ultimately one day going to be my business partners anyway. So you're kind of putting that investment in a personal relationship that's going to turn business.
My personal and professional are kind of one and the same.
I like that. Are you charged by being alone, or do you get energy by being around others?
others for sure. I don't like to be by myself.
Okay. So when you're with other people, you feel recharged. You can go get your energy off, and
Absolutely.
you love that kind of a thought. Love that. I'm the same way. Do you attribute your success to your personal determination and grit, or is it the higher power?
The higher power blessed me with personal determination and grit.
Okay. So
It's
you give it
the
up
higher
to
power, but if I gotta still do it.
Yeah.
You understand? So he gave me the ability to do it, and I get the choice whether I do it or not.
Love it. I'm still going higher power on that one as well. Are you an early riser or a late nighter?
I talked about this a second ago. I'm a late nighter is what I would say, but I'm trying to change to be an early riser.
Okay.
I want to do both. I want to spend these next 2.5 months being an early riser, and then I want to look back and make a decision is which way was I more productive, and then I'll go forward with that.
Naturally, though, you're a late nighter.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you write down your goals, or do you just kind of let things organically manifest?
I write down everything. I love writing.
Now, is that a daily that you write your goals down? Is it weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly?
Daily. Well, yearly I make goals, but then I have them sectioned out into quarterly, and I look at them monthly. But
Awesome.
I write down goals all the time. My phone has thousands of notes in it.
Nice. I don't want to challenge him either because he probably really has that. Do you prefer to work independently or as a part of a group or a team?
Ooh. Sometimes it's hard to work with people because people don't do what they say they're going to do. So sometimes it's just easier to do it by myself, but I like to work as a part of a group or a team. I like to lead a group or a team.
You prefer that?
I'd rather be the leader of the group and make sure that people are doing it my way.
Now, do you prefer to get a great deal or do you get like excited about giving a great deal?
Man, I love them both. I'd rather give a great deal. One of the other people said giving a great deal is getting a great deal. One of the guests on our this season. So I love that answer. I like to get a good deal too, though, man. I'm a big fan of getting a good deal.
So what's the answer?
Give a good deal.
Give a good deal.
I'd rather that.
So while you're spending time with your family, is your phone on or is your phone off?
It's on, but I don't pay attention to it like I used to. When I was in corporate America, I lived by that phone, bro.
Yeah.
You call me, I'm answering. That was how business was. Is I got to answer now. I could be on the phone it could be 3 a.m. and I got to pick it up. I don't do that no more.
So you might, if I hear you saying it correctly, your phone is still on, but you may not answer it.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Last one. Would you attribute your knowledge to like your natural talent and abilities, or is it mostly study and research that has gotten you to this level?
I think it's study and research.
Yeah.
I think I'm naturally pretty gifted too.
Yeah.
I'd say it's study and research that got me here. Natural abilities got me to where I am currently, but study and research will take me to the next level.
I can dig that. I like that. Okay. Man, we could keep this going, but for you all, and just out of respect for your time, we're going to cut this here. I just was wondering if you can give us your last little parting words of advice or something that you want people to remember about you or to know about their future if they're trying to get out of corporate America. What was some, like, your parting thought?
My parting thoughts are that if you want to do something, try to figure out a way and actually make a decision. First, figure out if it's what you want to do, or is it something that you're just saying you want to do because of how you feel right now.
Yeah.
But if you really want to do it, then develop a plan. You were on a call today telling a young man about make a business plan. Write a plan before you just try to do something. Like, don't tell me you're doing something and you don't even have no kind of plan.
Yeah.
That's not going to get you nowhere.
Good point.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about the season, man. With the seasons to come, I just love working with you, and I'm happy to be able to get ourselves out there for the world to see. I think this is important information that people need to know, and you came up with the idea, and I'm on your side, bro.
Love it, man. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
I want to just thank you all for joining the podcast today. This is the Pro Formula Podcast, y'all. We come out Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check in with us. You can go to our website at www.theproformula.com. You can go to our social medias, theproformula.com on Instagram. It's on YouTube. You can go check us out. We're constantly putting up reels, putting up videos, and we really want to have better engagement with you all. With this episode, this is something that you all asked about. Like, how does somebody do this? How do you walk away from corporate America? And so I brought somebody on the show who's doing it, who's actually living this life. And I'm hopeful that you all found some value in this, because for some of us, a corporate American job is your dream. And that's something that you should be proud of. For others, you're like, how do I get out of it? Watch this episode. This will help you get there. I appreciate my man, Matt Johnson. As always, my name is Tarek Shabazz. I'm your host, and I'll catch you all next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace and blessings be on to you. Peace.
Later.